up by the key forwards.
Now, we spoke to Ken Hinkley prior to the game, our little chat, but he said he wasn't doing any coaching, but I don't think he can help himself. He's gone out in the middle of the ground and started having a chat with some lads. So, I think once you're in it, mate.
You are.
Make out you're not, but you're 24/7 when you're coaching. So, back in the middle to start the second term. Hayes, I thought, did okay with Lycett in the first term. He's at it again, dished it out, but it went to the opposition. Bokey cleaned it up, gave it to Burton. Burton up towards half forward, coming across and taking a great intercept mark as Dan Houston. Had a very good first quarter too, I thought, off half back.
He uses the ball magnificently, doesn't he? And pushed into the midfield a little bit last year, Tim, and
well, not a lot. The year before he did more. Last year I thought he stayed home a fair bit, so his kick come out to half back. It's been spoiled away. Schofield at ground level. Little give off. Fantasia on the left. This is a good kick. It's a dangerous kick for White, but again, Houston in front. But I tell you what, that's a good mark at the back. That's Ollie Lord, I reckon.
That's the young man.
Ollie Lord, terrific mark. And he's dead in front, probably about 25 out. You see much of him during training, Norts?
I've had a look at him. I spoke to him the other day. He's living with Zach Butters, which is
really?
Which is fantastic for Zach to take in Ollie, and he's got such a rich history in terms of the DNA of his pedigree through the Geelong. His grandfather a Brownlow medalist. So he's on the runway now. Hopefully the young lad can steer it through.
Well, he's dead in front. Let's have a look at his kicking action. Not too bad. Should sneak in. It does. Just came back at the right time. Lovely goal to the young man. Well done, Ollie Lord. First goal on Alberton Oval. Congratulations, mate. That is awesome. And a good start to Black once again. They started very well in the first term, and they've done it again in the second. So, terrific goal. Good start for the Black team, but that was a really good take because Dan Houston was in the box seat. And he came over the top and just snuck it out of his hands. Great take.
All thanks to RAA. We're broadcasting here from Alberton Oval this morning. 12-point lead to Port Black over Port White. And it's with great pleasure welcoming to the coverage Port Adelaide's head of football, Chris Davies. CD, welcome.
Thanks, Daniel. Thank you.
We're liking what we're seeing at the moment. It's an even start, and the key forwards in particular seem like they're getting their hands on the footy.
Yeah, it was a first quarter of two halves, really, wasn't it? It was the Black team started off well. The Whites, once they got their contest work done in the second half of that first quarter, they started to put some scoreboard pressure back on. But no, we're pretty happy with the start, albeit it's a little bit scratchy, but that's...
well, that's why they call it a scratch
exactly
match.
Right, exactly right, mate. First up, that's right.
I think it's a bit cleaner than normal sort of internal trials. So they've actually put on a pretty good display so far.
Tim just asked about Ollie Lord in terms of how he's tracking, CD. I mean, obviously very young and a lot of development ahead of him. But how has he been going so far since he arrived in December?
No, he's settled in really well. He's a lad who has done something good there. He's been at boarding school for the last period of time, so he's used to living away from home. But he's settled in fantastically well. He's done some great things at training as well. So kudos to him. He's really hit the ground running.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a bit of a mongrel kick coming out of defence by Tommy Jonas. Ollie Lord trapped it beautifully, gave the hands off, which ended up on the far side with Mitch Georgiadis, and his kick into Motlop was exquisite.
So Motlop should kick this. He's 15 metres out directly in front, and he's had a fair bit of the footy too. Steve, he seems up and about, really fit, and obviously hitting the ground running. So the Blacks looking to kick their fifth goal, currently 4-1-25 to Port White 2-1-13. So this should be pretty elementary for Steve. He makes the goal up. I do a little bit of work, but that's his first, and it's his second actually. He kicked that miraculous check side in the first quarter. So Port Blacks 5-1 leading Port Whites 2-1, of course, all thanks to our great friends at RAA. Some of the younger kids, CD, that we need to continue to look at. We've seen a bit of Schofield this morning. So far, we've seen a few of the other. Alir's obviously not a young kid, but had a great start as well.
Yeah, I guess in these games, you're really looking for the people that you bring into the club, who are the mature age recruits. Fantasia for us and Alir, they've done some good things so far, haven't they? And then to see some of the younger guys, get a touch and get through. So, you can probably add Bergman to that list, who's done a couple of nice things. Dylan Williams, those types of guys who unfortunately didn't get to play much last year, who we would hope, get a good run at it during the pre-season and then into the SNFL season.
Back in the middle of the ground, players just kicking it off the ground. Rosie, I'll ask about how his foot is, Chris, in a minute. As Lean goes towards the football and they get it out of bounds. So how did he go with that injury that troubled him so much last year?
Yeah, look, we gave him a period of rest over the off-season break, and then, coming back, we've managed him back in. We had some decisions to make probably a month ago now where, he was still had some soreness, but look, his last month of training has been fantastic. We think we've got him over that initial situation where he was sore, and that's as much about getting load back through the joint and the area. So once he actually able to push through that initial pain barrier, it got a lot better, and he's now a month in training straight, and he's done some nice dynamic things out here already today, hasn't he?
Absolutely. So the white team just transitioning it across the other side of the bowling green. Short to Carl Amon. Looks in good nick as always. He's a terrific runner. I think he wins everything, doesn't he, Chris?
He does. Yeah. He does. So as you say, he's looked really well out there, and it's great to see someone like Todd taking a few contested marks as well and bobbing up just as
which was great.
Charlie has as well.
And kicked a nice goal too. Bonnet provides the run into the pocket. Robbie Gray takes a chest mark, and he's just pushing the mark back because he wants every metre. He needs every metre.
Every metre now, that's right.
Yeah.
He and Tom Rockcliffe
need
as many metres as they can get, don't they?
I'm not saying anything. I'm right with them.
I was going to say, you were
very intelligent.
I remember watching you, mate. You were much like them, pushing the mark back as far as you could.
The run-up was longer than the kick, unfortunately. But Robbie Gray, we know he can kick a good goal from these sort of angles. One against Carlton last year, wasn't bad. Goes across the face of goal, this one. And a behind to the white team. They'll go to 2-14. And the black team
5-1.
5-1 now.
31.
5-1-31.
It's Daniel Norton and Tim Ginniver with you this afternoon. Our special guest in the second quarter, Chris Davies, head of footy at Port Adelaide. How do you measure success today, CD, in terms of do you look for specific matchups? Obviously, you want to get through injury-free, but is there anything specific you are looking for from a cohesion point of view?
Oh, look, I think, as I say, first and foremostly, it's seeing the players that you bring into the club, what they can offer, getting the young guys into a position where they can get some of the footy. We would like to see some matchup work done. We mentioned before, cleanliness around the contest is something that we've been working a lot on, as well as transitioning the ball forward and getting it as forward as quick as we can. So. There are a few things that we want to get out of this. Obviously, an opportunity to play a game amongst ourselves with no real scoreboard pressure is a good thing. But at the same time, and that's obviously a goal from Connor, at the same time, we really need to maximise our time through this pre-season with only 2 more games after this before round 1 of the AFL season starting.
Rosie kicked his second, so a few multiple goal kickers now for the black team. Rosie and Motlop both kicking a pair each.
Chris, we went through the dramas of 2020 and we had to be flexible, and the key word was pivot and all these sorts of buzzwords. But it's happening again, isn't it? Because already the pre-season games we had lined up have been changed, and as we stand here today, we're still going to Perth to play a game.
That's right, and as you say, I think the club handled it really well last year, and that was one of the keys to, I think, the group having the level of success that we did last year. But we know that it's most likely going to be in some way affected again this year. So we had a discussion with the guys during the week to say, we've got to, as much as we can do at training, we've also got to have the guys ready to go at home, so that if for whatever reason we get locked down for a period like the Victorians are now, and like WA was a couple of weeks ago, that the guys have got to have enough gear there to be ready to go if worse comes to worst.
Now, look, here's Mystery Man. We're trying to work out who number 2 is.
Ben Edwards.
Ben Edwards.
It is.
So Benny was
we got that by
SANFL contracted player in 2019. He went back to university in 2020. I think was in the amateur league team of the year. So he's discussed it with him earlier on. He's really pleased to be back, and really looking forward to a good 2021 season.
He's had a few touches already.
Kicks from 45 metres out in a tight angle here. If you don't mind, he's drawn that back magnificently, young Benny Edwards. So that's his first. He's had 6 touches. So he's certainly been in and around the action, which is great. So the Whites kicked their third goal. They are 3-2-20, trailing Port Black 6-1-37, a margin of 17 points. We're midway through the second quarter. We're 10 minutes gone, and it's a big thank you, of course, to our member partner RAA for today's stream. CD, unbelievably healthy list, which is I guess partly expected because we haven't played a lot of competitive football obviously at the moment, but still a very healthy list. Only 2 or 3 names really missing from today.
That's right. Yeah. So fantastic to have the number of players that we do on the track right now. I think young Jackson Mead, he's got a slight coming back from a slight hamstring a couple of weeks ago, so we just wanted to make sure that we give him a little bit of time. Trent McKenzie got a decent-sized cork during training in the week, so he's missing today. And Tyson Goldsack, who would normally be out there as well, he's hurt his ankle during the week as well. So nothing significant. But to only have those 3 really on an injury list right now is a good place to be leading into these trial games.
And in terms of the pre-season, CD, I asked Ken last night at the AGM, but a really contracted, effectively pre-season schedule with only the whole group coming together from early January 4 or 6. So how has that impacted? I know every club's going through the same thing, but obviously Maccas would have had to completely have modified the program.
Yeah, look, he did, but at the same time, we're really fortunate right now to have a group who are mature enough to be knowing what they need to do in terms of their own physical health to come back in good condition. We told the guys as they left that if they came back in and hit their targets, that we wouldn't be doing any more real testing through the pre-season. And credit to the guys. The first week of training, I think we had our testing on the final Friday, and in reality, we had a significant number of PBs throughout. And so we didn't really have to worry about the conditioning at all, which was a great thing.
Mitch Georgiadis took a great mark then, just as we were hearing from Chris Davies. He started the game like this. This is what we get excited about when we see this lad.
He's got some real sticky hands, hasn't he? And look,
throws himself at it.
Full credit to our recruiting staff. Jason Cripps, Jeff Parker, Anthony Parkin. Those guys over in Melbourne who, at the end of the day, were willing to take a punt on Mitch when most people had him probably a little bit later in the draft. We need to help him tidy up his kicking, but at the same time, being able to get the ball and mark the footy is the first part of things, and he's had a great start to his career.
So Lena will bring the ball back in for the Whites. 6-2-38, Port Black leading Port White 3-2-20. So kicks long towards the Charlie Dixon area. Umpire calls play on now. Butters, how exciting is he? Dylan Williams, I'm going to ask you about Dylan shortly because we've heard a lot about him. Bergman tries to half volley for the Blacks. Pivots back, caught with a football. Butters spills free to Boyd Woodcock. Back to Butters. Butters centres it, but the umpire says that's just gone over the chalk. And there will be a boundary throw in. Dylan Williams, CD, we've heard a lot about him, and there's comparisons to some other players, but can you just describe what he will potentially bring to the table?
Yeah, Dill's a really smart player who just finds himself in good spots normally. He's got some real goal kicking capability, but also probably has the nous to be able to go up around the football from time to time as well. So. Dill's in a position where unfortunately didn't play much footy last year, didn't play much the year before as well. He spent his 18th year, with an injury interrupted sort of period. If you'd done the draft, I think at the start of the year before, most people would have had him, even higher than what we took him. So, look, he's got some ability. We need to keep helping him with his tank and his overall professionalism. But I think. He's going fantastically well and should be one for our people to watch into the future.
He is our resident Arturo Taverno too, a very good hairdresser.
Yeah, I mean, look, I try and steer clear. I don't get myself involved in the hair stuff, Norts, as you be well aware. But from all accounts, he's the one that the guys turn to.
Oh, the great Paul Rosonico reckons you comb your hair with Roundup.
Riz can talk, can't he? I mean, Riz, if anyone's
he uses the same product.
Why wouldn't he? I'm looking forward to having Riz back at some point this year too. As you
Are you? Are you really?
No, look, just in case he's listening to this or watching the stream, I thought I'd give him a quick shout out. But
champion.
That's been one of the benefits of COVID. We were able to keep people like Rizza out of the building.
The great
Riz,
Paul
I spoke to him during the week. He's keen to get back involved, Tim, as you
that'd
can
be
imagine,
good.
which will be great for us.
The boys will love it. His return. Very disciplined on game day, though. It's the only time I've ever seen him serious.
Yep, disciplined on game day. He keeps me sane for a lot of it. So
I suppose 3 hours in a week isn't too bad.
That's right.
Yeah, being serious. That's about all he can manage. So Bergman at half back. Just popped it out to the wing. Good contest there. Punched away by Tommy Corcoran.
Bergman's a good example of a guy. You talk about fitness before Norts. He's come back in really good condition.
Looks strong.
Does look strong. He's worked really hard during the off season, and that's one thing that watching training throughout the pre-season so far, I've been really pleased with is that we've got a group who look like they're pretty much physically ready to compete at both AFL and SANFL level.
Edwards did that well again, Norton.
He did. He protected that space at the back, didn't he? And took a chest mark in the end and should go back and kick his second for this quarter, which is...
So he's only a Magpies player at the moment.
He's an SANFL contracted player, Tim.
He's playing well.
We've got that spot available, obviously, through the
year?
Through the year at the moment. We're one spot light on our list. So, I said at the AGM last night, we're unlikely to fill that before the start of the season.
Yep.
But, we'll keep it open and see how the season progresses, because there are a whole heap of young kids in Victoria who, as we say, didn't get to play much footy last year. So we'll be interested in the development of some of the guys that we've got our eyes on.
Fair enough.
He missed one that he probably would have liked to have kicked there, but that's okay. He's getting his hands to the footy. Tom Jonas takes the mark in front of that magnificent Bob Quinn stand. Looking forward to seeing the Bob Quinn film coming out too in a few weeks, Tim. That's going to be something to look forward to, of course.
Oh, yeah.
This is Port Adelaide screening. Get a little plug in for that film as well, Timmy, at the Wallace Cinemas coming up in the next week or so. So Ollie Lord marks centre wing in front of the Foss Williams stand, kicks long down the line. Big pack of players, Laddams and Alina spoils. Well, great pick up by Rosie. Goodness me. Sam Powell-Pepper is besieged by the white team, but the ball spills free. Serene's in there trying to find it, but Burton clean, picks it up, kicks inside 50. Who's he found there? Can't mark it, whoever it was. Hartlett handballs back, pivots well, but Bonner onto the left foot. Only goes as far as Rosie again. Look at that. Up, down to Dersma. 40 metres out. Kicks towards the goal square, and well marked there by Farrell. So Kane Farrell should kick this. I've noticed, CD, a lot of set shots from 15, 20 metres out. Obviously, that's where you want to take your shots, but a lot from central positions, which would be pleasing. Yeah, I mean, the guys are looking to try and go line of goal as much as they possibly can. So, to take some marks, in spots which should, in theory, provide easier opportunities to kick. That's why I say in theory are good things.
Yeah, that's two misses, one to the right, one to the left, and Kane Farrell won't be happy with that because he's a very good executor of the football.
Just poked at it, didn't he? I mean, goodness me, from 50, he just roosts him.
Kick through it. So Jared Leonard brings it back in. He's a guy, Chris Davies, that I reckon just is so unlucky, isn't he, at times with selection, because he never, ever really plays a bad game.
No, Leno was unlucky last year. Did some fantastic things, throughout the year. Probably just in that situation where our defence, was as good as what it was, and he probably wasn't, in that first seven. But it's fantastic that we've got depth, across the squad. That's one of the things that I know that Ken has been hot on, and certainly was last night at the AGM, to say that the way that we're going to get better is also to have greater competition for spots. If you just tuned into our live stream, welcome everyone around Adelaide, and of course right across Australia, particularly
and the world,
and the world with the World Wide Web. But
yeah, that's right.
This is the internal trial from Melbourne, and we're 19 minutes into the second quarter. Mitch Georgiadis has the footy, and his team, the black team, have a 3-goal lead over the whites at the moment. He leans back on that, but that looks a lot better by Mitchie G, and that's his first. And he had a couple of misses early, but that's his first. 7-3-45. Port Black leading Port White 3-3-21. So 4 25-minute quarters, CD. And Ken told us a little bit earlier off air this morning that the second half might involve a rotation of players from team to team.
Yeah, I think the
the coaches are going to reselect the team at half time, and so I'd expect to see it a little bit different after half time. But yeah, so far it's been a pretty good hit out, hasn't it?
That'll really confuse us, Timmy, because we're confused at the best of times. But when Goons is going to be swapped, we'll be on our mettle.
I'm sure you'll still be able to find your man Connor Rosie.
I will.
Well, Connor. Set that one up for Farrell just by being incredibly clean. And what I find is the opposition find it really hard to lay a glove on him, don't they?
Yeah, he's so dynamic, isn't he? And he's done some fantastic things for us as a club over the last couple of years. Really excited to see what else he can bring. Fantasia.
That's a beautiful play, that is.
There is, we're really keen to get him over the last couple of years, as you know, Tim, and to end up with him this year. He's had a really good pre-season. He's a guy that's come in super professional. Has been really keen to learn, so I couldn't be more impressed with Orazio.
The disappointing thing for Orazio has been getting on the park, hasn't it? And looking at him today, he's running freely. He looks like he's got confidence in your body. You know, when you get a lot of soft tissue injuries, you go back out there and you just don't know when it's going to go next, and you lose the confidence to accelerate. He's looked really good today.
And look, touch wood, but full credit to our fitness staff and a lot of people throughout the pre-season are looking for guys to be managed, and Orazio and even Birdo, those types of guys who have had a history of soft tissue injury. But as much as anything, what we're trying to do is actually get more load through them. So for Orazio and also Birdo to have put the pre-seasons together that they have so far is a good thing. Burton's training every session and has been fantastic so far.
Sam Hayes, I tell you what, I like the way he plays. He's going to be all right. Sam Powell-Pepper, Charlie Dixon went at it.
Boy, oh boy, two Mack trucks going at each other.
Two B doubles.
And no one stepped aside, which is exactly what we want to see.
That's what we expect as Charlie helps Tommy Rockcliffe to his feet. Nearly took him off the ground.
Help him to his feet. If I was Charlie, I'd be sorting Rocky out.
Isn't he a pain? Like he's, God. Like he got married a couple of weeks ago. I mean, God, his poor wife. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. Carl Amon just chips in board inside 50 to Butters. He loves that little squeezy kick, and he finds Burgoyne. Beautiful skill. Look, I know we don't want to... I'm not allowed to harp on Zach Butters. Ken told me. He's pulled me aside. But even Ken was excited this morning. He just said his pre-season has been at another level again.
He's been outstanding. There's no denying that he looks to be one of our better players, and that's a great credit to Zach. Again, he's lightly framed, but the way he puts himself amongst the contest is great. And look, I think overall, again,
dart.
The dynamic nature of our squad right now is going to be a good thing for our people to watch. Having the likes of Fantasia, Rosie, Butters, Motts, who's had an outstanding pre-season as well. For those guys to be up and about is going to be a good thing for our club.
That was
Fred Burgoyne.
Yeah, lovely goal.
Yeah, son of a gun.
That was a lovely dart that he put through the middle there. But good piece of play. They worked hard for the football to get it back. Carl Amon just keeps
finding the footy, doesn't he?
Almost going each year. He's just again finding another little bit of percent to go up in his game, and came of age, I reckon, a couple of seasons ago when he took over that wing and just made it his.
A couple of minutes before half time, Tim, and it's a good contest at the moment. 24 points of difference.
Just got a text through from an old friend of the club's, Brendan Lade. So Lady, not all that happy with my dulcet tones at the moment, but if I can just... he's obviously still a member of the Port Adelaide Footy Club if he's watching the stream, isn't he? So
what was the actual comment?
It was he was wondering what I was doing for lunch, whether I was getting a pepper pasty and a Berliner from Ned's Bakery.
He's on to you.
So nice for Lady to still be interested, which is great.
Lady, no, we're popping down to get some KFC. That's what we're doing.
Why wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
I thought it was getting delivered, isn't it?
Getting delivered a little bit later on to the commentary box.
Did somebody say KFC?
Oh, I don't care. The original fillet burger, chips, nuggets. Cannot wait for that delivery at halftime. Now, and hello to Lady over there in Victoria.
The great Paul Zonico had a house when he was playing about 2 doors down from KFC. We reckon he had a slippery dip that came into his bedroom, and he just would tap it and 2 zingers would come down.
Well, there are worse places to live, I can tell you. Next door to a KFC. Unbelievable. Look, a massive thank you to KFC, obviously on board in all seriousness since the end of last year. And MG, of course, and GFG are wonderful partners of the Port Adelaide Football Club, and today's partner RAA bringing us today's stream. We're just prior to half-time, Tim. It's been an entertaining first half. Motlop off 1 foot, stabs it, but only as far as Tom Cleary.
Tommy standing in the way. Did well. Hanging in there, White, though, aren't they? Black have taken the second quarter honours. There was only a goal in it at the quarter-time break. And the siren sounds to end the first half. We see the black team dominating by 24 points.
Yes, they are, Tim, and conditions look perfect. CD, we could have got a 41-degree day today. When you look at the calendar and you look at February 13, you're thinking, but it's absolutely perfect conditions really for footy.
No, it's been great so far, and no excuses. So the second half will, sort the guys out.